Welcome in everyone to the Challenge After Show tonight. Jenna, Pamela, and I are talking about the Challenge All-Stars, Season 4, Episode 10. It's called It Was a Good J. And then, of course, oh, you both just froze. Oh, sorry. Go on. Sorry, Jenna. What were you saying? I lost audio on both of you.
It was a blue jay.
We're having technical difficulties.
But how crazy was that? Right when you and I just had a pre-show for like 15 or 20 minutes chatting about all kinds of stuff.
Smooth.
And then
a baby's skin? What's smooth?
The baby's bed. That's the saying.
Yeah, but like it's still so janky right now. How random is this? We had perfect.
It's not janky for me. I'm super smooth.
Sure.
Yeah, me and Pam are chilling, so
I
don't
never had it. Yeah, when you guys were going, oh, what? I could see both of you and hear both of you just fine.
Are you good, Dan? Or are we still working?
No, now it looks like we're back up, but like, what was that about? That was so random.
I don't know. That was all in your world.
It had to be. I'm telling you, my internet randomly will go out and then just pop back on. It's starting to like, I'm gonna give them a call and be like, yo, guys, like, because it's on one side of the house, but it should cover the whole house.
What do we
on one side of the house?
Like my house is not big, but ladies, by the way, it's when I say one side of the house, it's right there. It's not that far.
Like 5 steps away.
All right, so we know that our fans of the after show love behind the scene moments. So I wanted to start off the episode by reading a little bit of our text chain from earlier today because we got a text from Jenna, Pamela, and she just asks, just nonchalantly, did you guys watch? And I write, yes. And she writes, bruh. So, Jenna, please tell us what you meant by bruh.
Also, you know what is funny is our text group is the most like hatch job text thread. Like we barely finish thoughts. We don't really answer each other that well. And if we do, they're like not very extensive, well thought out text messages. Like they're just, it's really horrible. Like you need a roadmap to be able to decode our text thread. But I just said bruh because Pam did not answer. So I didn't know she didn't.
Amazing and on brand response to that is I didn't see any of this, you guys. Like I haven't, like if I was like out working or something.
That was like 6 hours ago.
Yeah, exactly. That means like I was like getting up for the day and like didn't look and just looked again at the recent ones like that I responded to. But
so Jenna, did you want to say more than that? You just didn't want to spoil something?
I wanted to say F-U-C-K, but I didn't because I knew if Pam had that context, if she had not watched the episode yet, and if she was going through the episode knowing I texted that, she's going to be thinking, I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And I know I'm going to be mad. I know I'm going to be disappointed. So that's why I said, bruh, because I wanted that leaves more up to interpretation. That could be like a good bruh, like, bruh, that was so good.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
bruh.
I was curious too. I wrote back to you like, I'm really excited to see why you wrote bruh. So you were upset by what? The elimination? Like
elimination. I was. Really? Listen. Yeah, well, listen, I love Steve. I'm glad that he's still in the game. I'm glad he got a star. I'm glad he did what he did. Love that for Steve. But I feel bad for Jay. I really do, because he was our fan favorite this year, and he stuck to his word, even though he knew that he probably shouldn't have, right? But really he stuck to his word. He was a man of his word. He took Leroy out. He had the utmost loyalty. He did what he said he was going to do, and then he lost because he was at a huge disadvantage because he knows this is like the skill set needed for this elimination. He didn't have. This was, yeah.
Blue Jay. That's what it should have been called. Blue Jay. Blue, sad.
Because he's sad.
Yeah. So that was my bra, because it was just like, oh, Jay, like I really wanted this for you.
Oh.
All right. Well, look, I was honestly during the elimination, I didn't really care who won. I was like super neutral. Like it actually made me enjoy the elimination more, because usually I'm like all like my stomach is hurting because I like say I don't want Wes to go home or something, you know. But this one I was like, I guess I can watch it and I'm totally fine with either one of them winning because I like both of them. So I didn't care at all.
Yeah.
That was me though.
I mean, I just thought, you know, when we watch this show, we always like critique certain things that players do because it does go back on their word. However, to be a good player, sometimes you do have to go back on your word. You know what I mean? So it's like, now I sound like a hypocrite because we hate people that like lie or betray people. But sometimes this is a game for money and you have to do it.
I mean, stupid Laurel said it best. She's like, the benefit of being a winner is that you get to stand up there and decide if you want to go in or not based on what it is. And like, again, I think she wussed out last week, but Jay, you don't do if you're with a broken nose and are colorblind, you don't do an underwater color challenge. You just don't. And and again, I don't even think anyone could have been mad at him. It's like, listen, I can't I can't do underwater and I can't see colors. I mean, this is not my game, TJ. Like, I feel like that would have been really reasonable.
Yeah, but
I mean, it does look good.
Even though I understand that, I am still glad that he went in though. Like, I do feel like it was a really honorable thing to do. Like, listen, he lost out on $250,000. So is it really that honorable? He's going back to his fiance being like, sorry, I couldn't win you the money because I did the right thing on like a sleazy game show. But yeah.
If he never had that conversation with Leroy, then I can totally see him backing out. But like, as a man, if I told another one of my friends or just a guy on the show that I liked, like, hey, look, I'm going in no matter what, you're safe, then I can't go back on my word either. So 100% I'm with Jay in that regard. But yes, we didn't get the payoff of him backing out and having Leroy, because that would have been a great payoff, because that would have totally screwed over Leroy.
Listen,
not that I want Leroy to get screwed over, but what a great moment, because like the one with Laurel last week, even though we hated what she did, it still gave us some good juice for the show. Because
I would have felt so bad for Leroy because that just happened to his fiance the episode before, and you can see on Jay's face that Jay's thinking like, I should not do this. I should not do this. You can see Leroy also processing it on his face, and he's like, don't do this to me. Like, seriously, this is about to happen to me and Cam again. And I'm shocked that it looks like everything on Jay's body language and face said he's not doing this. And so I was shocked when he still agreed to go down. And that's why I was rooting for him so hard, because it's like, he knows he was up against the wall with this challenge. But I still wanted him to win. I'm like, come on, Jay, like, even with your broken nose and your color blindness, like, just do it. Come on. But that being said, I'm still really happy for Steve because I really like him too.
Yeah,
I do too, but I am upset that I think I wanted Jay to win. This was one of those where like I almost don't even know. I don't have a clear favorite, but I was upset. I was like, can Jay pull it off? Can Jay pull it off? I was really upset when he didn't win. And yeah, I mean, as much as it's honorable and sweet, it's I don't know how he thought he was going to possibly win it, and I wasn't ready to see him go home. And I feel like he had a good chance of potentially having won everything. So it's a bummer.
I would have crushed this elimination. As you know, ladies, grew up on a lake.
Lake Dan.
We would go down. That was probably maybe 8 feet deep at the 7 feet, maybe nothing. You go right down. And here's the key. If y'all want to know what the key is here, I don't know how the broken nose thing works, but a lot of people do get the water up the nose and they have to hold their nose, and it totally throws off your equilibrium. You're trying to grab stuff it doesn't work. You have to balance it all right. You just blow out when you're going down. Blow out through your nose and bubbles come out. Keeps the water out, and then you just go back up.
Yeah, it's hard to consistently do that for all the time that you're underwater though. So I get
breath training. You can do it. I'm telling you, you can do it. Okay. And then once you stop, just do it. I mean, do it again. I mean, it's not, you have to breathe back in, obviously, eventually, and that's where you go get air. But no, I'm telling you right now.
You know what, Dan? Not everybody grew up on a lake, okay?
Well, I love this challenge. I thought this elimination was great. Yeah. I was really into it. I thought it had a good element of like, you had to be strategic with how you decided to like take out the color things too. Did you want to do them separately, do them all together? I mean, it had everything for me. I really like this elimination. And Steve now 3-0, 100% he deserves his props. And we always talk about how certain challengers go from loving them to hating them throughout the season or vice versa. And I'm sorry, I told y'all pre-show I was going to talk about this, but Adam, I'm totally 100% against him now. I can't believe I liked him so much to start the season. Can't stand this dude now after what you told us last week, Jenna, too, about what he's saying on the after show that he went on with Derek's after show. Not into Adam at all. I don't care what odds Steve had, who he had to go against. The dude is 3-0 in eliminations. He deserves 100% of like, it doesn't matter. He did great. Like, you don't do that.
Yes.
You play who's in front of you. Same with the Celtics right now. They're getting shit on by the league saying everyone they play, all their players are injured. Well, I'm sorry. That's what the schedule had in front of them. That's who you play. You don't get to pick and choose. It's just whoever's there. It's not my fault that person got hurt. Sorry, dude.
Yes.
Celtics deserves to be there. So does Steve. There you go.
And nasty, Adams, I agree with you, Dan, 1,000,000%. My biggest like change in the season was I was like, who wants to see stupid Jay again? Like and then now Jay is
Jay
up
is, like,
here,
way up,
and
yeah.
Adam, I started off being like, Adam's a great guy. I like Adam. Nasty piece of work, rude and like insulting to Steve after, which doesn't unwarranted insulting a jerk. He was like,
He was mad. He was
friends.
mad because he took his star.
Right,
But Steve's also the reason he's down there because he
Right.
voted for him. It's like, hello, Adam. You put him down there, bro.
Adam is one of those people that like doesn't get that he caused it's like you caused him to be down there. So of course he's gonna take your star. And when he was talking about that, he's like, don't worry about the, bros, something, he made some comment about worry about yourself, basically, when he was voting in Steve. And then how quickly that changed when he was affected by it. What a little bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's two parts to it. Part one is I can't hate Adam for just wanting to protect his star, right? So it's similar to like Cara doing everything she can to protect her star. So Adam is trying to manipulate the vote so that he doesn't think his star is vulnerable. So I understand him doing what he thinks he needs to do to win the game. And him and Steve were on their road rules quest together. So it sounded like they had a very history of having a long friendship and staying in touch over decades. However, this might be bad editing. We haven't really seen them being the best of friends or the best of allies in this game, right? So for us as viewers, we're not seeing like how significant this relationship is between them. So for Adam to kind of be like, screw it, I want to win 250K. I'm going to protect my star. Sorry, Steve, I got to vote you in. I get that part one. Totally can understand it. But part two of him just being so malicious and having like this whole just like warpath for Steve after is like, but you put him in a vulnerable position. You literally threw him into elimination. So just understand that, like kind of Derek said, it's a tit for tat thing. So you did it to Steve, did it back to you. That's kind of it. Call it a wash. Like
that should be it. He shouldn't
start. Yeah.
He was the fact that he kept reacting that way after the fact. It's like, dude, just think about what you did. And I'm surprised Adam in nominations didn't think a little bit more about the decision he was making, because if he didn't vote for Steve, Steve is most likely still going down there anyways. But if he doesn't vote for Steve, he can let Steve know, hey, man, look, I didn't vote for you. And then hopefully that would also help protect his star. He knows Steve is 2-0 already in eliminations. He knows if Jay goes down there, it's Jay versus Steve. And Steve has a really good chance to beat Jay at a lot of things. Imagine if that was like a wrestling match or something like that. I don't care how, Steve is just a bigger dude in general. He's not beating Jay in that too. So God, I wish Adam thought a little bit more about his decision-making in that nomination thing because of how good Steve has been this season.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I do like about Adam is that he is vocal in his opinion, but in just like a very clear, concise way, which I can appreciate. He just like says what he thinks. That's kind of it. He's, he's not like ever being like outright mean to people or like sneaky or anything. He's kind of like to the point. So I do like that. But I think, like I said, we haven't seen it with the editing, but their relationship must be stronger than what we've seen in the show because, Steve took Adam's star and gave it to Ace, but Ace pretty much kind of voted Steve too. Ace had more loyalty to Ryan than he did Steve, even though Steve and Ace are friends. But Steve must have felt way more heartbroken and betrayed and burnt by Adam saying his name than Ace, because, he takes Adam's star, give it to Ace. So it's kind of like,
and then
that friendship must have been stronger.
Steve also said that like Derek wouldn't be voting for him, like would vote against him too. So like I guess Ace was really his only option.
Too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He said that now, so the people that
But he could have taken Leroy's star,
the
Well, what do you mean he could have taken Lee? What do you mean he could have taken Leroy's star?
Wait, the way Steve did it has set up the two people that haven't gone into whatever yet to go against each other to get that star.
What you mean, Derek and Ryan?
Yes. He's like the two people that haven't, now it has to be, I don't remember, but Steve explained it and it was good.
I'm sorry, I'm saying Steve could have taken Leroy's star, couldn't he? But he took Adam's.
No, Steve already had a star. They gave him an additional star.
No, he could take an additional star from anybody who still had a star. He could have taken Leroy's, but he didn't. Sorry, all that to say, just my point is that he obviously felt betrayed by Adam. That's why he took Adam's star.
He could, but my point is too, he could have also taken a female star and given it to another female.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah.
Anyway,
anyway, I was just trying to make the point that he felt betrayed enough by Adam to be like, give me your star because you did it first. You struck first. Now I'm striking second.
If you all are upset that Jay is now gone, I do believe he is back for another season because they are currently filming Cinco. So
wait, I have two more things to say about Jay on this elimination. One is that, listen, it may have been stupid for him to go in, but in this situation, the logic is that this is his last time to get a star. He has to get a star. Like Ryan and Derek, they're kind of holding out hope that there's going to be a double elimination next episode or a purge. They think that maybe there's some sort of opportunity for them to get a star. And I kind of believe what they're saying. Think about like, why the hell are they having the next episode just for another girls' day? Like, I feel like it is going to be a double.
I think it's going to be double next week and then finals. I think that's what it is.
I totally agree that I think it's a double elimination, but in Jay's defense, he's standing there thinking like, this is 95% the last time I can go in and get a star. And I won today's elimination. I mean, I'm sorry, I won today's challenge. The power's in my hands. I have to get a star. So let me go get a star. So again, like, even though this looked like the elimination that he was not going to have a fair fight in, he still had to get a star. So I understand like his logic and thinking that and throwing himself in. Second thing is, even though he went home and he had a good chance to win the final, think about it. We only saw Jay once. And he made it to the final because everybody thought they were the layup team. So everybody just kept letting them win, never put them in elimination. People wanted them in the final. So they made the final and then they quit because they couldn't eat. So like Jay doesn't really have a history in the show of the challenge. He doesn't have necessarily a reputation. If he does have a reputation, it's a bad one. So think about it, like he didn't really have that much to lose by going on All Stars. So it's kind of like, okay, Jay, like you made it far and then you didn't win. Like you can come back. It's not as though you had that much at stake.
Like, your legendary status is taken now. Right. No, I agree. And I do agree that overall, Jay is a prince and he's nice and honorable and it's a good look. Like he looks good. I'm just, it really was dumb, unfortunately, but he might have looked like a jerk. I feel like he could have explained himself. But again, I'm happy that Steve won. Steve has really earned it. And Adam, man, I couldn't believe the things that were coming out of his mouth. Like, what a nasty piece of work. And just vengeful and jerky. Even Cara and Cam last week, it's like, hug it out. Like, then they were rivals all season. It's like, listen, you don't think things that personally.
Now that interview, so he really seemed to be getting fired up during his confessional interview.
Yeah.
And like, we don't know when they filmed that. If they filmed that, like, even like at the end of the week, he's still fired up that much about whatever had happened, where he literally like took off his mic. He's like, I'm sweating talking about this. Like, what did he call him? He called him like something not nice there. Yeah, a-hole. So it's like maybe more things happen between the two of them coming up, which makes him react even more. Because I'm sorry, Adam, but how do you not realize that this is like a tit for tat, like we just talked about? How can you be this mad? I'm either thinking something else happens, or maybe he just really is that big of a prick. Like, what the hell's going on, Adam? Like, plus, I like Avery a lot, and I like you two together, so I want to like you both. What the hell's going on here, Adam? You're
that's what I'm saying. It's like there's obviously some depth to this relationship that we don't understand just by watching All Stars 4. You know what I mean? Like, let's see, if somebody you just met did that to you, Dan, you probably would not be that upset about them throwing you into elimination, But if this is somebody, I'm sorry, taking your star and throwing you into elimination, so I'm talking both Steve and Adam here. But if someone who you've known and stayed in touch with and talked to a lot for the course of 20 years, then that you can see that there's obviously like, I don't know, there's tension because of their history, I think. I don't know.
A little bit, but also I think it does seem like Adam might just be a prick and that it's a lot of like condition out, like, oh, when I do it, it's not personal. But when it's done to me, you're dead to me. How dare you? It's like, listen, buddy, are you seeing the double standard that you've got going?
Yeah, he's taking it so personal. He's blind to the game. Like, game has to understand game. He's like being so over.
I don't like when, and it's called something. I just learned something. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you what it's called.
This is
Talk,
good.
talk amongst yourself. There's like a,
I hope this takes a really long time for you to
amongst
find
yourself.
it too.
No, it's funny because I'm trying to think of if I know the word, but it's like, of course I don't know the word.
it's a theory of in arguing, and I'm gonna tell you right now what it is. Ad hominem, and I'm gonna read you the definition. It's an ad hominem arguer. Short argument and hominem. It refers to several types of arguments that are fallacious. Often nowadays, this term refers to rhetorical strategy. Basically, someone starts arguing, it was explained to me, that's like, it's Wikipedia, that in an argument, if we're arguing over raising taxes, and I'm like, Jenna, you're ugly and you're stupid and you're dumb and everybody hates you. That's an ad hominem. It's like, wait, what? Ugly, stupid, and dumb doesn't mean that doesn't have anything to do with taxes. It's taking it out of the context and making it personal. And I feel like if Adam had sat there and said, I didn't think Steve was going to vote for me. That was low. He had no right to come after my star. We had an unspoken agreement, but just saying like he's a loser, and it's a very Donald Trump style of argument. It's like, fuck you, I'm not taking your phone calls in the future or ever, asshole. It's like, well, that's not really making us see your point, Adam. Ad
Super
hominem.
over the top. And
Yeah.
the ending of this episode left me feeling like, oh, I wish that we could binge this show. Like in this generation of being able to binge shows and not having to wait to see what happens next. I'm like, well, now that I know like Adam's pissed, Ace now has a star. Is it going to be a double elimination? Like Kara's still in the game. Is she going to make it to the finals? Like there's so many things that I'm looking forward to seeing. I was like, shit, like
yeah, but isn't it also about time that we felt this way about this show again? So I'm actually really excited about all these things. I'm happy that I was like, wait, it's over. I mean, I knew it was going to be over because they actually are following. I like when they follow I like my plan of like, okay, daily challenge, nomination, elimination. Give me the whole episode. They did that. So no, I mean, this is great. Very solid season so far. Obviously, there's always room for improvement, but overall very enjoyable, and I'm excited for next week for sure.
And I'm excited is I hope we do, at least, even though we can't binge all this, which is nice, at least we do have social media. Like hopefully Adam has seen this and is gonna go, you know what, I apologize to Steve. That was I was just hurt in the moment. Because again, it was really too much. It was beyond the game, and he was insulting and mean to someone that he was good friends with. It seemed way out of hand, and it didn't make any sense.
This would be a very good season. Oh, sorry, I'm hearing a reverb, so that made me like.
I think Pam, do you have like a mic? Like, are you talking to a mic on your computer, or what's? For me, your audio sounds a little off. That's all.
I don't have anything unusual happening.
That's okay. I'm just wondering.
Sometimes I'm hearing a reverb. And yeah, I'm hearing it on your end. Anyway, it's okay. We'll work through it.
Let me look at my.
You need to get your sound guy, please. Can you get?
Where's your sound guy? Come on.
What was I
gonna say? Sound guys.
This would be a very good season to have a reunion for, because I feel like there's a lot to hash out in hindsight, and I want people to, articulate whether they think it was just that they were mean to Kara, or if now that they've watched it back. And same thing with like this Adam Steve situation. There's a lot of stuff that we're seeing that maybe we don't have the full story to, but some people just look a little too like malicious.
Have they ever done a reunion for All Stars though? Have they done one yet?
I think they did. Did they not?
Maybe like originally. They haven't done it the last couple seasons, I feel like, though. I'm sure someone in the comments will let us know about that though. Why don't we jump to the top of the episode to discuss a few things that happened since we've covered the end of it, which is great. The first thing I noticed was Laurel taking zero responsibility for sending Cam home.
Thank you. Yes. Go ahead. Sorry, I jumped in.
I was like, Laurel, no, it is your fault, but I mean, I get that Cam lost the elimination, but like she was down there because you literally were like, no, you're not going, and I gotta go get my star, and I gotta send Kara's ass home. Yeah, Laurel's awful this season too. She sucks. And like to watch her with Nicole, I'm like, you're such an idiot. What are you doing? Anyways, but yeah, go ahead, Jenna.
Oh no, I mean exactly that. Zero accountability. Like, yes, you have a point to say Cam did DQ. Cam did lose, so she was in the losers bracket. However, you set up the elimination to be Cam versus Cara with the 100% promise to Cam that I'm going to take you out of elimination. Take some accountability. Jeez, like have any. She will never have any like understanding of her role in situations. And it's just like so, it was so frustrating to watch.
I also feel like people just say, I'll look at it and see. Just don't promise someone you're gonna. It is fair, I think, to like Jay. It was very fair for him to be like, no, this is literally absolutely the worst possible thing that I could have to do to win $250,000, which I want. So no, like, and have a good chance of winning. But once you do, you give your word and you say, I'm coming down, that's it, then you're an asshole if you don't. I get it both ways. You just don't give your word. If you reserve the right to make a game time decision, literally.
And listen, like she, again, like I'm saying, she's right in some points. Like she said, you know, to Jay, she's like, well, that's why you don't go down. Like, Jay, this is the advantage of winning the challenge. You can make a decision after you see the game. But just like the way she
person. Yeah. Again, we'll back to the same point. Yeah, like don't promise someone they're not going in because you're going to take their place. Like, wait, Laurel, you're right. You are allowed to decide not to, but don't say you're going in. That's so the only place.
How she twists things. She'll be, you know, I can look at it like it's my fault, but it's not my fault. It's Cam's fault. And it's like, just say it was both of you. Like, just take some responsibility for the role you have in this.
It's your fault for telling Cam, I will go in and replace you. That is your fault. It's not your fault that Cam is in that position or that Cam DQ'd or that, but it is your fault that you, Laurel said, I want to go against Cara. I want to take her out. I'm coming down. Like, yeah, that's your fault.
So Laurel this season, very unlikable, but also very entertaining. And I love to hate her this season. So it's unlike like a Fessy where I'm just like, God, you're boring me on the show. Laurel, very entertaining. And I love to hate her. So keep doing your thing, Laurel. Don't agree with anything you're doing, but I love watching it. I love watching. She's gonna crash and burn. My God. I mean, we already know. I mean, we know they're not together, her and Nicole. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, back in the early aughts, if we were watching this, we would have no idea if Nicole and Laurel were still together or not. We'd be like, I bet they're not going to be together, even though this was filmed 6 months ago. We have no way to find out. So, yeah.
And also in Jay world, because this was Jay's episode, I love that he said, because he did call it elimination. He was like, I have a feeling, like, you know, he tried to say to Nicole, if Laurel does not go in, you know, your star is going to be vulnerable. Or yeah, I mean, he was basically just saying, like, you're putting all your eggs in the Laurel basket and you don't know if she's 100% going to go in. And he said it again. He's like, I knew that she wasn't going to go down. So I'm like, you called it. You were on it.
Yeah. And that flirting moments, it's like painful. It's cute and horrible at the same time. I think I like mean Laurel or aggressive or winner Laurel better than like vulnerable, flirty Laurel with Nicole. It's weird to see. It's strange.
Yeah,
she's just so.
Yeah.
And now that we know that it ends so poorly, it's hard. It's uncomfortable to watch because I'm like, she's gonna do bad things to you.
Well, speaking of riding things, I guess, Ride It My Pony, TJ enters on that song. That was a pretty decent song.
Yeah.
I was hoping he was going to go off a jump or something, but no, he kept it. Jay just went. I was like,
they're like, woo, he's just simply riding a motorcycle.
Slowly.
But we want our TJ, our host with the most, to stay safe. So good for him. But he rolled in for Roll With It. And we got a daily challenge that I was like, okay.
I loved it. I thought this was great. I love these like stupid little anybody's game, like really funny. You
love the carnival. You love the carnival games, right? You're into the.
No, I love all of it. I love when they're carnival, but I love when they're super physical and tactical. Okay. You need to be an athlete for them. I love all of them. But this is like, I like basically when it feels like anybody's game. I don't like when it's like, an endurance challenge, but there's only like 3 people who are good at running, and that the one person is gonna like completely suck at it. I like when it's kind of like a mixed bag.
So I liked the daily. I was upset with some of the decisions that the players made during the daily. That's what I think maybe threw me off. I like the concept of you have to be in a shopping cart do what any means necessary to get to the end of this road. I love that Jake kind of figured out a different way, different strategy. But I'm sorry, but if you're a Derek or who else? Was Ace? Ace, yeah, Derek and Ace. I'm sorry. If I see that someone else already won, I go the opposite way at this point in the game, because you're just too late into it. You go the opposite way and you try to get into an elimination. I know that, I play to win. Well, Derek, guess what, man? You maybe have one more chance next week, and watch Derek not even get an opportunity next week. Then you're really like, dude, Derek, why didn't you throw it, man? Like, so that bothered me more. But yeah, the overall concept of the daily challenge was fun to watch for sure.
Yeah.
But I was kind of bummed. I like that Jay had a clever workaround and made it work for himself, and I was happy watching that. But at the same time, I feel like it's almost like on the game maker's fault. Like, that was you should have had to lasso
Okay.
because that was like what it was. So I was like, oh, you're just gonna like push yourself through, which is fine, I guess.
That's true too.
But it's like,
yeah.
It's like that was the fun. That was like part of it. So it's like, but you don't really have to do it. It was just like, wait a second, what?
Yeah, that is Pamela. Pam, that is true though. Like that, that was totally not the idea. They should have made the rule you have to lasso then. And that is kind of BS. TJ should have made that clear, or maybe he did, and like they're just letting him do it anyway. I don't know, but like,
well, it's also the thing of like, well, if other people saw Jay do that, then they could have just done that as well. So everybody else, maybe they didn't realize he was doing that, but they could have just done it too. So that's kind of on them for not trying that.
I mean, I think it was really hard to do, which is why other people couldn't really do it, that you needed to pull yourself, because as we saw a lot of people going backwards, I think there was a slight uphill incline. So you have to imagine you're pushing yourself, and you're not only pushing yourself flat, but you're sort of pushing yourself up, and it must have been far enough that everyone couldn't have done it, because they would have, I guess, if they...
Funny, like, it's just crazy that Ace was in first place, and then his cart starts rolling backwards, and now he's in he's behind Jay, and then poor Avery is like going back and forth between the entire course. Like, sometimes you just get screwed and you're out of it. So if I was a participant in the challenge, I feel like I would not like it, but I liked it as a viewer for that comedic value.
And I'll be honest, I don't think a lot of people saw what Jay did, because I think other people would have tried it more. We didn't really see anyone else try. We literally saw everyone else using the lasso. So I don't know.
Yeah, she was doing bad, and she would have, I feel like, if it was a strength thing, been able to do it. And she, Tara.
Yeah, and then I was also thinking, like, Laurel's so long. Laurel has such long limbs. I mean, I know she won anyways, but like, I figure she could have pulled off the J thing pretty easily, no?
Yeah, probably.
Being tall like that and the reach like that helps.
Yeah.
With the lasso, if you only have a little ways to go.
Mm-hmm.
But Dan, I was thinking the same thing that you were for like Derek, Ryan, anybody who doesn't have a star yet. Like, you have to lose, or
What are you doing?
Well,
why are you even trying?
I guess, and now I am thinking that there must be some sort of secret. What did he say? He said the 6 star holders, or the 6 star. Like, was his theory of why?
Again, it's also the order of which the edit is showing us, because everybody before the challenge, it's all the guys who don't have a star are basically saying like, this is my last chance, this is my last shot, gotta get a star. Like Jay, Ryan, Derek, they're all saying they need a star. But then after the challenge, this is the order of the show. Ryan is backpedaling, and Ryan is thinking like, no, maybe I don't need a star yet. Like, maybe I'm gonna get it next week. So I actually don't want to go into elimination. But the confessionals during the challenge had Derek saying like, I'm not the type of person to lose just to lose, to get into an elimination. So it's kind of like, I don't know, the way that they shoot the confessionals, the way that they include them in the episode is like, was that what he was thinking during the challenge? Or did he change his mind like Ryan and think, oh, actually, I don't really want to go into elimination yet. Maybe I'll try to do it next episode. I don't know.
Yeah, and I got beef with that with Ryan too, because Ryan did end up being in that losing thing. And he's like, no, I don't want to go against Jay. He's too good this season. Ryan, I'm sorry, dude, but like, who else are you going to go against that you think you can actually beat? Oh, your best friend Derek, who you don't want to go against? Well, that's the only person I can see you actually having a chance with. So I don't understand what Ryan was thinking about not being more vocal about getting sent down there. And guess what? He would have went against Jay in theory, who can't do colorblind and all that stuff. So come on, Ryan.
That's the thing with the challenge also is you never know what elimination you're going to get. You should never count yourself out, but you also should never just automatically assume you're going to win, because there's like two sides of points. There's always the people who are so cocky and think they're going to win no matter what it is. And it's like, you know that everybody has a weakness. Like it could be your weakness.
Right.
Same thing with people being like, I don't want to go in yet. It's like, but you don't even know. The one where Rachel and Cara were basically just throwing sledgehammers. It's like, what in the world did that have to do with any of those women's skill sets? Like they are strong, they are fit, they are in shape, like smart, everything. They could have done anything and they were throwing hammers. Like Ryan, that could have been you and Jay down there. Like it's a challenge all-stars. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yep.
Really.
Yeah. So that was disappointing. But I mean, I don't know. I enjoy Ryan. I think he's funny. He said when asked like if he's ever laughed so before, he's like, I've watched Wonder Woman, so I know what to do. I thought
I like Ryan too. I just think he made a bad decision, and that's what it is. He's made a bad decision. I still like him as a human being, I guess, and I like him on the show, but he made a bad choice. It's such an obvious bad choice too, which like throws us off as viewers. I feel like, dude, I mean, we're watching this from afar. You're involved in it. You know that they have to have a star. You know that there's only so many episodes. Like, you know, you're at the tail end, and you know you go against Jay. Why are you using that as an excuse? Like he's too good now? Like what? It's Jay. Oh, come on.
I mean, it is kind of amazing that we're on episode 10 of the season and we know we need a star. And it's like, and we're still hearing people say they still don't want to go into elimination. It's still not time yet. It's still too early.
I got to ask, like, how much are these producers paying them per week that they just want their per diem or their weekly paycheck?
Right?
What is going on here? I mean, how much is it?
And it's okay. So I guess at the end of elimination, TJ did say, I'll see you at the next challenge. But
yes, he did.
Before that, do the cast members know that there's going to be another challenge? Maybe they have a schedule. Maybe they're like, you're going to be here for 12 weeks. So maybe Ryan's like, oh, this is week 10. So
they're all doing the math. They're all talking amongst themselves. I wish they would show us more of that stuff, like behind the scenes. Like, hey, production told us catering this morning when we had our catered food. Like back in the day, they had to make their own food. Now it's all catered and ready for them. Like we heard this, and this. Like, why show us more of that stuff? Maybe they don't want to give us the peek behind the curtain, but I would love stuff like that. I'd be fun.
Again, I still think Ryan needed his star and he needed to go into elimination if he wanted his star here at episode 10. But I do kind of understand. And like I said earlier, I could kind of agree with him. You know, he's been on this show before. He knows how the game makers, the producers work. For him to think like, hey, I think I got like another chance to win a star and it's not going down against Jay, who I think I'm going to lose to, then like, all right, I could kind of see it. I could kind of see where his head is at.
Here's going to be the best part. Let's just say he gets in that middle group next week if they do have another challenge. If he gets in a middle group and there's only one men's daily challenge, he literally is out before the end of the episode, and we'll know he's out. We're going to witness it. Like, it's very interesting what's about to go down next week. I mean, again, to your point, Jenna, it is so exciting. I would love to watch another episode right now. Like,
I know, I can't wait.
Things. Yeah.
Because there's one more episode, right? Until a final. So
I think there's one. It should be episode 11, and then they'll do a final episode 12, and then maybe a reunion for 13, but I don't think so, unfortunately.
Okay, so I mean, there's 2 more episodes, one more episode that has a challenge and possibly a double elimination, but definitely one elimination. But I I kind of want the people who have the stars to stay with the stars. I don't want them to have to fight for their star anymore, you know, because you have people like Ryan and Derek who are like, nah, I don't want to go into elimination on episode 10. But it's like, you have people like Cara and Steve who have been in like 2 to 3 eliminations, had to fight for themselves for every single one. People who have volunteered themselves to go into elimination. And it's like, so now on the last episode, you know what I mean? And now you're going to like go take the star from somebody who has had to maintain it so hard this entire season. I kind of like don't want one of these people to just...
You know what, Jenna, you make a great point. Let's break this down. Let's break down the current star holders and who deserves to be in the final and who doesn't, because there is a difference between some of these star holders for sure. Steve, yes, we can all say yes to that. Okay.
Yes.
Ace. No. I mean, he's a great guy and all, but he hasn't done anything. He even admitted, he even felt like he didn't even want it. He's like, I should probably earn this first.
Yeah.
And then the third guy is Leroy, who has been down in elimination against Brandon, I believe, when they hung and had
Honestly, that was a tough elimination.
Yeah, that
'cause
was
I
rough.
went back to it, and he totally deserves his star.
Okay. And then you have, here's going to be a big no, Veronica, who got her star handed to her. So no.
Yeah.
Nicole.
Nicole deserves her star.
All
Listen,
right.
she
Wait,
won
how
a
did she
daily.
get it?
She won a daily challenge, so she had power. She saw the elimination, so she went down there. I mean, it was a funny one because she replaced somebody, so she didn't know
Veronica.
whether she Jasmine or Veronica. So she fucked it with Jasmine. She manipulated.
Okay. But she did earn it.
She did earn it. And then you have obviously Cara, and Cara's the last one. So
Yes,
we have to say 4 out of the 6 deserve it. And that's what I'm hoping, that if the 2 people that get the stars next week, a guy and a girl, I hope that they are cool, but they won't, because they're going to want to keep Veronica in this finale. But if they take Veronica out and they take out Ace, then all 6 would deserve. But you know damn well they're going to either take out Cara. They're going to take out Cara most likely. So Cara's got to win next week. I mean, it's going to be pretty crazy.
Wouldn't it be amazing if Laurel took a star? Just like if it just worked out that way, that she had to, I would just love it so much.
You would love it?
Especially if Nicole lost to Cara. Oh God, that would be great.
Oh, you're saying if Nicole, I'm sorry.
If it was like Cara and Nicole, so Cara takes Nicole's star and gives it to Laurel.
Oh, why would Cara ever do that though, Pamela? Why wouldn't she give it to?
She would, but I'm trying to think of a way that it could happen where Cara gets the star.
If Cara wins, she should take Nicole's star and give it to Flora, so that it's
Yes.
Cara, Flora, and Veronica in the final. And there you go, Cara. Go get your $250,000. You just walk to the finish line. Like,
Jenna, you nailed it. That is who she should get. I prefer she gave it to Avery because I like Avery more than Flora, but yeah, that's fine.
No, you give it to Flora.
You give it to Flora for sure. I mean, that's the proper decision, yes.
Yeah.
Flora. Yeah, I love that Flora is still there.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, like, you don't hate the player, hate the game sort of thing. Like, I guess next week, whoever gets their stars, that's the game. And that's the way that the producers did it. So I guess that's fair, right? That's fair in like the rules of the challenge. But it's just like so annoying to me, you know, people who have fought for and deserve their stars, just to have somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. But listen, I mean, also like you could applaud that sort of game, like from Ryan's perspective. Let's say if he does get a star next week, it's like he sat there like someone hunting their prey, sat there and waited, and then pounced at the last minute, got his star so that nobody could take it. So I guess, you know, that's something to be said too.
I mean, we should give Ace a little bit of credit. Someone tried to tonight about the way he's been basically being being on so many different friends' sides or whatever, that he has people's trust and whatnot, so that he's more. This is the second time someone's given him a star up there, right? Like he got one earlier too.
Nice. Yeah.
So
and he's not layup either. It's not like, I'll give it to you because like you hold on to it, you keep it warm for whoever earns it. Right. Like if Ace goes to the final, that will be an example of good social game, not just
right. So you got to give him a little credit there for sure. Yeah.
Like
Ace always looks. I told you, Ace always looks like he's about to burp in his confessionals. He looked like he was about to throw up in the whole show tonight. He was so like overwhelmed with emotion and everything. Like, Ace, my God, you're an emotional dude.
Yeah, he is. I was gonna say, what's the opposite of tender masculinity? I loved the tender masculinity that was on display tonight. Like it's just so hard. I don't want to pick anyone, and it is shitty. I'm sure you do feel that way, especially when you're so in that fishbowl of like, I don't want to hurt either of these people.
Yeah, and you know what the thing is with him, I think that it's genuine. Like some people might try to play the I'm friends with everybody, I want to be everybody's ally, like, you know, you make promises to everybody, but he's like sincerely just wants to be everybody's friends and just likes everyone, and it's working for him. Like you can see that
I mean, right, he did. He looked like he was clearly upset that he had to make that choice.
Yeah.
Well, we got to hear of one person's choice on showering habits tonight as well. We should mention Steve. We learned about his showering habits, so that was good.
He never had to go down. That's what I was like, and he's gonna mess up that beautiful leave-in conditioner he just applied.
I'm telling you, I told you last week he makes me laugh the most on the show, and they're doing that. You know, they try to find a thing like blonde Jenna was always the dumb ditzy blonde. They always portrayed her that way. And with Steve, he's just the quirky, funny, weirdo guy, and they're rolling with. I mean, obviously there's truth to all these characteristics they're doing for these characters that they make them. Because Steve has a lot. They showed him working out with his rubber horseshoe thing again. So I mean, he's doing it to himself in a way, but he's great. He's really entertaining and fun to watch. So I'm glad that I am ultimately glad he's around a little bit more over Jay. But yeah. So and now he's got the Steve. It's Steve versus Adam now. This is good stuff. This is gonna be pay off.
We'll see what it comes down to. And you know what? This final better be good, man. Like, it better feel like the winner deserves to win. That this is like a good final, not some of these daily challenges have been a little like janky, but I don't know. At least make the final seem like.
Well, I think because you had to earn your star this season, unlike the season before 39, where Emmanuel just hung out all season with Jay, and then all of a sudden he's in a final. I think right now we have 4 out of 6 that we said deserve it, right? We might even be able to pull Ace over to deserving it just because he's played such a good whatever type of game, social game, like Pamela said. So really, it's just Veronica right now what we're thinking. So, and the chances that Veronica wins the final are 0%. I mean, I never say never, right? Okay, 0.001% then for Veronica. She's not winning this damn thing, okay? Yeah. So most likely the winner is going to be deserving. Let's just
well, I guess it'd be more of like what the final entails, like the actual games and like the actual competitions they have to do. I'm interested to see what they are, because the season has been kind of like equalizers, you know, because there are different like skill sets of players and ages and everything. So I get it, and I'm enjoying it because I do like those games.
Yeah.
But you know, you want the final to be something that.
When's the last time we had a final where we were like, this is a legit fun final to watch? Like, I feel like we haven't had one in a while. Maybe this will be it.
At the top of my head, my 2 favorite finals are Battle of the Exes 1, when it's no, seriously.
So the year 2002. Okay, so we got a final from literally 20 years ago.
Yeah, that might have been like 2012 or something. And I also like the Free Agents final too. That's the one.
I don't remember. But the one that I remember sort of liking, even though I hated, that I thought was fun to watch, was that one that had like sword fighting and stupid, like the people like that. Not the sword fighting part, but the other parts were fun. I remember enjoying that one.
If I remember correctly, that's Final Reckoning, and Kara won single-handedly.
And
that works for me.
I will try to do a more recent one. I will go with like War of the Worlds 1 or 2, when Ninja fell off her bike and like passed out. Like those I thought were still very entertaining. Like those are like the latest ones. Like obviously, Jenna, the ones you're mentioning were awesome too, but they're just so long ago. I'm trying to think of like the most recent one. So like War of the Worlds, those I remember being pretty damn good.
That was too good. That was like literally running through the desert for 100 miles. And then Kara and Theo losing on math like that. Like I'm still that one I remember because I'm like a math problem. Like they had to get rehydrated. That was like a brutal final, most brutal, and then math.
Well, okay, but the math element sucked. As an advocate for people who are not good at math, because I am not, they had to do math in different sections of reading a sign. They had to read a sign, remember that answer for that one, read another sign. You know, it would be like add whatever to the last number you had, or multiply it by whatever. But if you do like 5 or 6 signs, if you don't remember what your number was, or if you mess up by 1 digit, you can't re-look at what the question is. You can't look back like it's a worksheet, like it's a math test. It's like
terrible.
Once you went by the sign, that's a half mile away. Like you're gonna have to 3 miles back to start it over.
I felt terrible for them.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Taken down by numbers.
Well, we also had Cotton Eye Joe as one of the music special spots. I'm just trying to mention, I always enjoy the music thing, so musical choices.
As hard as it was.
This was just a really good episode, a really good setup for next week, because now I'm like, now I gotta see what happens.
Yeah. Overall, great episode. Really into it. And any final thoughts, ladies, before we get out of here tonight? No.
Steve rules, Adam drools.
Oh, there it is. There
Yeah.
it is. Hashtag Steve rules, Adam drools. If you're still listening right now, that's a good hashtag to put in the comments for sure. All right, we'll see y'all next week. Episode 11. We're assuming it's gonna be the last regular episode, and then we'll get into a final. So we'll see you all then. Thanks for joining us for episode 10. It was a good Jay. That's the first time they've ruined the episode though for me, because I knew Jay was gonna have a big part in it. So yeah.
Yeah.
That was disappointing, but whatever. It is what it is. Still really entertaining. So
Yeah.
okay. Oh, all right. Bye, everybody. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.